Lawrence Police Department report of Detective Sergeant Samard that on Sunday, August 29th, he was working the shift. At approximately 8:40, he was called for assistance under the Central Bridge with a fire. Fire investigator Mr. Ruiz had just come for an active fire under that bridge near the Pemberton Park and was searching for a suspect at that time. Fire inspector Mr. Ruiz was in Pemberton Park investigating another fire 5 minutes earlier under the Falls Bridge at 0 Broadway and had wandered over to the Central Bridge to investigate further when he observed the second fire. It was noted that the City of Lawrence and the Lawrence Fire Department have been plagued with approximately 19 similar fires since earlier this month, August 8th. On this date, Inspector Ruiz spotted the second fire under the Central Bridge. He responded to that area in his unmarked unit with his lights activated. He observed a male wearing a red shirt leaving the area from under the bridge towards Canal Street. The inspector was then flagged down by a witness, and Mr. DeShano, who was parked in his vehicle. He had indicated that he saw a possible suspect. He informed the inspector that he was sitting in his vehicle reading the Sunday paper, as he does every Sunday, when he noticed a suspicious male walking around under the Central Bridge wearing a red shirt and blue jeans. He informed the inspector that he saw this male emerge from under the bridge right as the fire had started, and he fled that area right before the inspector had arrived on scene. Officers then gave out a bolo of the description of that individual given by that witness. They stopped an individual wearing a red shirt on the Falls Bridge. That male was identified. He was shown, a show-up was conducted with this witness who said that that was not the individual that he had seen under the bridge at that time. That individual was released on that issue. At approximately 2 in the afternoon, 2 more fires were reported in the same area, 60 High Street near the water tower, as well as 0 Marston Street, which is the brokerage stock insurance business. The High Street fire was a brush fire, but the 0 Marston Street was a building, which is a business. The Lawrence Fire Department again was on scene, was fighting both blazes. The 0 Marston Street, being the business, was the more serious of the two. It was later informed by the fire investigators that the brokerage stock fire caused extensive damage to the interior as well as the exterior where that fire had started. Investigators quickly also determined that the fire was intentionally set in the rear of the building using no accelerant. While on scene of the fire, they were flagged down by a passing motorist who informed the officer there was yet another fire across the canal near the mouth of the river, which was off Island Street. It appeared that the serial arsonist was on a spree headed towards that Merrimack River. All units at that point had to be directed to the area of the Duck Bridge. Minutes later, Officer Tully of the Lawrence Police Department spotted a male who matched that description given out earlier. He was wearing a red polo shirt and jeans, walking on the Duck Bridge north to south. He was identified as the defendant who's before the court today, Rarn Pak. He was placed under arrest and immediately advised of his Miranda rights by the officer. He was also advised of the investigation and that he matched the description. He denied any wrongdoing. He became very agitated during a pat frisk incident to his arrest. Officers discovered 2 lighters in his front pocket. He immediately blurted out that those were for his cigarettes, although no cigarettes were found on his person. They also noted that he had several grass stains on his clothes, in particular his pant legs. They brought that to his attention as well. They asked him if he got those stains lighting brush fires. He denied that that was the case. They asked him where he came from. He stated he had just come from his mother's house. They asked him how he got to the bridge area. He stated that he walked down Prospect Street and then down Canal Street, where he spotted an officer working the traffic, and then onto the Duck Bridge, where he was spotted by the police. It should be noted that there was numerous fire personnel at that time at that area, as well as police officers who never saw Mr. Pak walk by that location as indicated, especially wearing the clothing that he was and the description that was provided to these individuals. They then spoke with an officer, an auxiliary officer, who was at that location, who Mr. Pak said that he spoke with. This officer denied talking to any male wearing a red shirt and blue jeans. He did state that he spoke with 3 individuals in a Honda who wanted to report a fire behind Island Street, which was the 3rd fire that was set. They then had the witness, Mr. DeShano, view a photo array. He wrote a statement. He was given the photo array. He pointed to it and stated that number 5 looked like the guy that he saw them that morning, the fire, and that was Mr. Pak's photo. He was arrested. They went to the cell block to get Mr. Pak. He was wearing only boxer shorts. A search of his cell revealed that he had ripped up his shirt and pants, soaked them, and attempted to hide evidence. It appeared that Pak remembered what this officer had said on the duck bridge about the stains and attempted to destroy the evidence by washing off the stains or the smell of the fire on his clothing. He was again advised of his Miranda rights. He refused to sign a Miranda form. He became very agitated during an interview. He lost his temper several times. He denied lighting any fires. He stated that they were framing him. When he was asked about marks on his work boots, which appeared to be from stepping on brush fires, he stated that he fell off the railroad tracks, which caused the stains. When they informed him about him being picked out of the photo array, he knew about the guy that had been at the location at the time of the description given to the officers. And when they told him that he admitted that he was at the Pemberton Park but didn't light any fires, he then had an account for his route and travel, which was different, and that route of travel was identical to the fires that were being set. Those fires being at the Broadway, Pemberton Park, Marston Street, High Street, and Island Street, all within a realm of time being set, same location that Mr. Pak had indicated that he had traveled during the course of the time frame that the officers had questioned him on. His clothing was taken and submitted for evidence, and they did try to confirm whether he was at the Daybreak shelter, and they did confirm that he had stayed there the night before. That would be the probable cause judge for the 58A.
Your Honor, we would stipulate that there is probable cause to detain Mr. Pak pending the 58A. If we could have September 8th for that hearing.